5 questions can reveal your true purpose. This is the promise of the Tao method. Rooted in Taoist principles, these questions provide immediate clarity by stripping away false pursuits and showing your authentic path. When used together, they create a complete picture of your purpose. And the first question addresses why most purpose-seeking fails. What would you do if all paths were equally meaningful? Most people approach purpose completely backward. We desperately search for the right path, convinced that only certain careers or lifestyles can bring fulfillment. This endless searching is exactly why so many feel stuck and frustrated. The first question challenges this fundamental mistake. In Taoist philosophy, this is like swimming against the current instead of flowing with it. The Tao teaches that we create our own obstacles when we fight against the natural order. Ancient Taoist masters observed how rivers don't struggle to find their path. They simply follow the natural contours of the land, flowing around obstacles rather than trying to force through them. This wisdom applies perfectly to finding purpose. When we judge certain paths as worthy and others as unworthy, we create internal resistance that blocks our natural flow. Consider Michael, who spent 8 years climbing the corporate ladder in finance despite growing dissatisfaction. He kept pushing forward because he believed only high-status, high-paying careers could be meaningful. When he finally asked himself this question, something clicked. Following Taoist principles, he stopped forcing his path and instead noticed where his energy naturally wanted to flow. He discovered his true calling in sustainable investing, not because society deemed it prestigious, but because it aligned with his natural strengths and interests. This is what Taoists call Wu Wei, or effortless action, purpose that emerges when we stop forcing and start flowing. The insight here mirrors one of Taoism's central teachings. True power comes not from struggle, but from alignment with our nature. When we remove artificial judgments about which paths have value, we can see which direction our energy naturally wants to move. By answering this first question honestly, you begin to strip away society's expectations and align with your own nature. This isn't about abandoning responsibility. It's about finding the path where your unique strengths can flow effortlessly, just as Taoist masters observed in the natural world. The second question delves even deeper into the Taoist concept of listening to your inner nature, revealing what your moments of greatest flow have been trying to tell you all along. When do you lose track of time? While the first question helps you stop judging different paths, this second question reveals which path already has a natural pull on you. In Taoist philosophy, this reflects the principle of following your nature, or ziran, the understanding that your authentic self already knows what it's drawn to. The ancient Taoists observed how everything in nature effortlessly expresses its true essence. The pine tree doesn't try to become a bamboo, it simply grows according to its nature. The moments when you lose track of time are powerful indicators of alignment with your true essence. These are periods when you enter what Taoists would recognize as being in harmony with the Tao, what modern psychology calls a flow state. Take David, a software engineer who worked 60-hour weeks building financial systems. While his work was respected, he never experienced that sense of timelessness until weekends when he would mentor young programmers in creating games. When he asked himself this second question, he realized his energy naturally flowed not toward financial software, but toward teaching and creating. Within 6 months, he had transitioned to developing educational technology, where he regularly experiences that sense of timelessness that signals alignment with his nature. The insight this question reveals goes beyond simple preferences or hobbies. Activities where you lose track of time indicate where your energy flows without resistance, exactly what Taoists understand as following the path of least effort. These moments of effortless engagement point directly to your innate strengths and natural inclinations. By identifying these flow states, you're uncovering the second piece of the purpose puzzle. The first question helped you remove judgment about different paths. This question shows you which path your nature is already drawn toward. Together, they begin revealing the direction where your purpose naturally lies, not forced, but discovered through alignment with your true self. The third question digs even deeper, addressing the underlying values that have been guiding your choices all along. What patterns emerge from your moments of greatest satisfaction? It's not about what you want to do or even what you enjoy, but about uncovering the invisible patterns that have been present throughout your life. While most purpose-seeking focuses on future goals, the Taoist approach looks for the subtle threads that have always been woven through your experiences. The Taoist concept of Wu Wei teaches that the most powerful path is often revealed by observing what's already happening naturally, rather than forcing new directions. Think about your own life for a moment. When were you most fulfilled? Not just professionally, but in any context. Volunteering, helping a friend, solving a problem, creating something. What elements were present in those moments? Was it connection with others, problem solving, creative expression, teaching? When you examine these peak experiences, patterns inevitably emerge, not in the specific activities, but in the underlying elements that gave them meaning. This reflection process aligns with what psychologists call narrative identity, the understanding that we construct our sense of self through the stories we tell about our experiences. The insight revealed here transforms how you understand purpose. Rather than being something you need to discover outside yourself, purpose emerges from patterns that have been present all along. It's not about finding something new. It's about recognizing what has always been there, but hidden in plain sight. The framework is taking shape, revealing not just what you might do, but why certain activities resonate with your core self. The fourth question shifts perspective entirely, examining how your unique struggles might actually be pointing toward your greatest contribution. What struggles have you overcome that you could help others navigate? This fourth question represents a pivotal shift in the Tao method, transforming what most consider obstacles into signposts toward purpose. It embodies the Taoist concept of reversal, the understanding that apparent weaknesses often conceal our greatest strengths. What seems like a disadvantage frequently becomes the source of our most meaningful contribution. This paradoxical wisdom connects directly to the ancient Taoist concept of complementary opposites, or yin-yang. The Taoist sages recognized that hardship and growth are inseparably linked. Your greatest struggles often become the forge that shapes your unique gifts. The very challenges that once held you back can become the foundation for your most meaningful contribution. Consider James, who struggled with severe anxiety throughout his 20s. After years of therapy and personal development, he not only managed his condition, but developed techniques that worked better than conventional approaches. When he asked himself this fourth question, he realized his painful journey had equipped him with expertise that could help others. Today, he runs a thriving coaching practice helping professionals overcome anxiety, transforming his greatest struggle into his most fulfilling work. The unexpected insight this question reveals is that your purpose often emerges not from your strengths alone, but from the integration of your wounds and your wisdom. The struggles you've overcome give you a depth of understanding and empathy that those who haven't faced similar challenges simply don't possess. This is the Taoist principle of transformation. What once hindered you becomes what uniquely qualifies you. This fourth piece of your purpose puzzle reveals not just what you enjoy or what you're good at, but where your experience creates unique value for others. Your struggles haven't been meaningless detours. They've been preparing you for your most meaningful contribution all along. With four pieces of the puzzle now in place, only one question remains. Who would you be if you trusted your own nature completely? The philosophical foundation here reaches to the core of Taoist wisdom. The concept of Ziran, or self-so, teaches that each being has its own inherent nature, a way of existing that requires no effort or pretense. Just as water naturally flows downhill and fire naturally rises, you have natural inclinations that, when followed, lead to your most effortless and impactful expression in the world. James, whom we met earlier, struggled not just with anxiety, but with reconciling different aspects of himself. His analytical mind drew him to business, while his empathetic heart pulled him toward helping others. Society told him these were separate paths requiring separate careers. When he faced this final question, he realized he didn't need to choose. His purpose emerged precisely at the intersection of these seemingly contradictory elements. By trusting his complete nature, he created a coaching practice that leveraged both his business acumen and his hard-earned emotional wisdom. The key insight this final question reveals is that purpose isn't about becoming something new. It's about trusting the integration of everything you already are. Your judgments about different paths, your flow states, your satisfaction patterns, and your unique struggles aren't separate pieces to choose between. They're interconnected aspects of your complete self. that, when trusted together, reveal your most natural contribution. Now let's turn this philosophical understanding into practical action by exploring how to apply these 5 questions together in your daily life. Begin by setting aside uninterrupted time, at least 30 minutes, to reflect on each question separately. Write down your answers without judgment, allowing your thoughts to flow naturally. The key is honest reflection rather than perfect answers. After exploring each question individually, look for the connections between your answers. What themes emerge across all 5 questions? Where do you see alignment between what you do if all paths were equally meaningful? When you lose track of time, your satisfaction patterns, your overcame struggles, and who you'd be if you trusted your nature. The most powerful insights often emerge at the intersection of these answers. This convergence point is where your purpose naturally lives, not forced or manufactured, but discovered through alignment with your complete nature. As you implement this method, you'll likely encounter 3 common obstacles. First is the voice of self-doubt, questioning whether you're doing it right. Remember that according to Taoist principles, there is no single right way, only what's natural for you. Second is impatience for immediate answers. Purpose reveals itself gradually, like a river finding its course. Third is the temptation to overthink, which blocks intuitive understanding. When this happens, return to simple observation without forcing conclusions. Most people begin seeing meaningful patterns within the first week of reflection. However, deeper insights typically emerge over 30 to 90 days as you observe your life through this new lens. The Tao method works because it integrates all aspects of your authentic self. The first question removes artificial judgments about different paths. The second reveals where your energy naturally flows. The third illuminates consistent themes in your satisfaction. The fourth transforms your struggles into unique value. And the fifth brings everything together into a coherent whole. By following this approach, purpose stops being an elusive destination and becomes a natural expression of who you already are. 5 questions can reveal your true purpose. This was the promise. The path now lies before you.